Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Stadium Rant proudly presents to you the most electrifying wrestling show in the world. We are your hosts, the Big Show Shake and Bake, the Professor Nicholas Mullick, the Nard Dog Bernard Green. We are the Ringside Boys. This is Ringside Rant. Got a lot to talk about tonight. Unfortunately, not a bright and cheery evening all the way around. A lot of fun stuff to talk about, interesting things. But, of course, rest in peace to the legend Syco Sid. We're going to get into his legacy. The Professor has a story time about the legend to commemorate him the best way we know possible to show love. That's what we like to do here. We like to celebrate as much as, we mourn the loss. We want to celebrate what they did so well and what they did to us and brought happiness to our lives, because that's why they're there, right? Anyway, we also got Bash in Berlin predictions. We got to get through that whole card. It's 5 matches, and, we don't necessarily have all that much to talk about for most of them, but that's fine, because there's other stuff we got to talk about. There was a giant event in London. I don't know if anybody heard of it. It was called All In. It was ran by Arena's Empty Wrestling, AEW, All In was in Wembley. Certainly not empty. It was very full. They had a very packed crowd in London. We'll talk about that. You see him right below me, Bryan Danielson, your new world champion of AEW. Congratulations to him. But before we get to any of that, these two fine gentlemen that make this show so much fun to do every single week. Professor Nard Dog, how we doing?
I'm doing great, man. I was playing some NCAA a little bit before I came on, but other than that, doing great. Off tomorrow, something my Liberty Day weekend off. Great.
Oh, okay. Off tomorrow. I like that.
Yeah.
Professor, how we doing?
It's been a weird week,
Yeah.
We'll get into this now. We lost Syco Sid Udy this week. It came out of nowhere because all of a sudden I saw his son Gunner posted, I believe, on Facebook that Sid passed, and I was shocked, and I didn't even know he had cancer. I didn't. Cancer sucks. It sucks, man. But Syco Sid is one of the more underrated wrestlers, in my opinion. I mean, everyone loves him. He was over everywhere he went. His run was great. His WCW run was great. Everything he did with even ECW, he was great at. The match I strongly recommend you all watch. His match with Shawn Michaels at Survivor Series 96 was it was great. The entrance, the entire match, it was just great. And man, I'm still stunned that we lost him. He should have been inducted in the Hall of Fame already. The only reason why he wasn't, because I know he had heat with Vince. I don't know why that he had heat with Vince, but he should have been inducted years ago. Especially when he had that one run when he had a match against I think it was Heath Slater, if I remember correctly. That was the year they should have inducted him and Vader. Don't forget Vader. Should have inducted him while he was alive too. Yeah. It just feels weird. I want to get your guys' view on Syco Sid before I get to my 3 stories about him, because this guy has got a ton of stories. Some great, some bad. I'm not going to get to the bad ones out of respect for Sid. That will be a future story time.
I'll just go real quick because honestly, I did not see Sid's career too much as a fan. I saw some things afterwards. And, I always appreciated his work, and, it's been nothing but an outpouring of love and support from the community of how amazing of a person Sid was in real life. And he was, he paved the way for muscly big men, right? They used to be just kind of like portly giants, right? But he was like just a big cut in shape dude, and he kind of paved the way for a different breed that we all kind of saw, and we were like, dang. And then we got a lot more of it, and he showed them a lot of character work, right? Because it's easy to be big and be a muscle, but to make people care about you, that's different. And Sid was able to do that, and it's tough to see him go, but thank you for everything you did. Cancer does suck, man. And to not know he was going through it, that's kind of shows to his personality. He didn't really want necessarily everyone feeling bad for him. I'm sure he didn't want people to see him in that state as he was, because we know what cancer does to people, man. It's not friendly. It's not nice. But rest in peace to a true legend. And Nardog, take it away, man.
Yeah, it's tough loss. I must say we have lost, I think, what now 3 legends in
Four.
less than a month and a half or
Yeah,
4 months.
we lost the Wild Samoans off on Syco. Kevin Sullivan, which I can't even believe I missed that. He passed away as well. He was one of the most underrated parts of WCW as one of the top bookers at its peak. And now Sid, it's just been a rough few months. It really has been.
Yeah, it has been, and like I said, I haven't followed his career as much either. But I will say, like, I agree with you, Shake, that he has paved the way for big cut muscle type men. Without him, it wouldn't be no Brock Lesnar, Braun Strowman, guys like that. And you know, it's ought to be a shame that they wouldn't put him in the Hall of Fame. And I say, in my opinion, they should do away with that 5 year mark or whatever after they done finish their career. And it's like, I feel like this upcoming Hall of Fame next year in 2025, put him in the damn Hall of Fame, guys. Triple H, WWE, put him in the Hall of Fame. He's one of the best of all time. Obviously, like I say, he's loved everywhere he go. He's got over everywhere he go. It's time to put him in the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely. And Nicholas having a little bit of technical difficulties, so we'll let him get his things together. I was laughing there because it was an unfortunate. He's back.
Sorry about that, fellas.
No, you're good. It happens.
Yeah.
Oh,
But JC, appreciate you rocking out in chat like you always do, man. Rest in peace, Sid, for sure. Okay. Since he's back, we can roll right into it, ladies and gentlemen. To tell us some stories about the late, great legend, the man we are honoring this evening. Bernard is so overwhelmed with emotion and so excited he had to take a step away. I think he's regained his composure now. It is time for story time with the professor.
All right, so I'm going to give you 4 stories, two quick ones. So, other matches Psycho Sid had that were memorable were, I'll start with his WrestleMania match with Hulk Hogan. He was actually one of the first few wrestlers to kick out of the Hogan Atomic Leg Drop. He wasn't the first, I believe Tenryu was the first, if I remember correctly, but he was the first live kick out. That was actually because Papa Shango, aka the Godfather, made an oopsie and missed his cue. So Sid had to kick out of the leg drop. That was unplanned. And when you see Papa Shango during WrestleMania Raw now, you could see the look on his face like, oh, I have done messed up.
Good one. I like that.
Luckily, the Ultimate Warrior came in and put an end to that. And that's everything that happened there. Next match I want to tell a quick story on. His Undertaker match at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
This is actually kind of gross, but it's still crazy. Psycho Sid during half that match crapped his pants. So when the Undertaker lifted him up with the tombstone, he got a big whiff of Sid. And that is why you see Sid like tense up during that match, and at the end where normally he would roll out of the ring, he kind of just stayed there because he took a number 2 in the middle of the
dude.
I know.
You kidding yourself at WrestleMania? Oh my God.
John Cena, I think, did it too at one event. Yeah.
Superstars are shitting themselves left and right.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
Whoa.
Poor Mark indeed, JC.
Whoa.
That's another crazy one. Third crazy one, and one of the things I'll absolutely remember for because it's another gross injury that happened. During one of WCW's pay-per-views in 2000, Psycho Sid did like a jumping leg, like big boot. It was a stupid move. He broke his leg badly, and it's one of the grossest injuries I've ever seen. he fractured both his tibia and his fibia, and his like ankle like did the opposite. Like, you know how it's normally straight, it
Yeah.
went. It's not the worst injury I've ever seen, because that absolutely goes to Hayabusa in FMW. That's when he did a moonsault, and then the Dark Side of the Ring episode, he landed on his forehead. It's real, like his head was leaning back and he landed on his forehead and he got paralyzed as a result. That's the worst injury I've ever seen in the ring.
Jesus.
Yeah, Jesus indeed. And another story I got, Syco Sid, a lot of times during house shows and during, when he was healing up for his injuries, he would take a little while to do that. And not a lot of people knew why he did that, but there's a real reason why, and this is actually really cool. Syco Sid Justice, loved softball. So he would always like miss house shows. He would take longer times to heal from injuries because he loved playing softball. And he got the nickname Softball Sid everywhere he went because he missed the house show. He went to go play softball, this and that. And it's crazy how much he loved softball that he was willing to miss bookings just to play softball. Those are my stories on Sid, but I do want to end on this note for it's sad to say this. Someone on Sid, when WWE posted the tribute video, commented this, and I think it's very beautiful to say on here. I don't remember the name. I didn't write it down, but he commented, he was psycho, he was vicious, he served justice, but most importantly, he mastered and ruled the world. Rest in peace, Sid. I'm never going to forget about you. You were an amazing person. And my thoughts and prayers go out to his friends and family. Rest in peace, Sid.
Well said. Well said. Rest in peace. Absolute legend. Chat, show some love. Syco Sid. Now, we can kind of move through. We got some Bash in Berlin things to talk about. Before we get there, I guess what we could do, we can touch on AEW a little bit. We got some time here. We could spend about 15 minutes talking about All In. Some stuff that went on there. Bryan Danielson, obviously, new AEW World Champion. Mercedes Moné gets an unfortunate low blow at the media stand. And yeah, honestly, I know I was, what was I doing? I was at a LAN. I was broadcasting a Call of Duty tournament, so I couldn't watch All In. It was happening while I was there. But anyway, gentlemen, take it away. How was the show?
Well, I didn't look too much into the show, but I will say congratulations to Daniel Bryan. The dude just incredible, man. Like since he's been in WWE, he has always been the ultimate underdog with everybody just love. With the yes chance, yes movement, and taking over WWE I believe one show on Raw. The man just incredible, and to see his family, Brie Bella and his kids there to celebrate him, it's just amazing. So congratulations to you, Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, that match was great. And I got to say, congratulations to Swerve Strickland. Even though he lost the title, he got an extension. Well deserved. I mean, he's probably, in my opinion, the best WWE to AEW superstar. And yes, there's Jon Moxley. He's great. There's Christian, who is better utilized in AEW than he ever was in WWE. But Swerve Strickland, this guy had the talent, and they put him in that awful Hit Row faction. I never was a fan of it, and
Shit, Row.
Yeah, and now he's amazing. He's great. He did a phenomenal job. Bryan Danielson. The one issue I had with it was too predictable. I mean, come on, we knew his contract was up in October, either October, like at the end of the year, and it was pretty obvious he's not going anywhere in the ring yet. Yeah. And what I hope happens whenever he loses the title, I hope that AEW hires him in a behind the scenes role, and I want him to run Ring of Honor, because Ring of Honor has been an absolute cluster. I like that AEW bought it, because if WWE bought it, it would just be buying the library. And Ring of Honor, they still got talented guys. Dalton Castle's my favorite on Ring of Honor. I know he's hurt now, but Dalton Castle's my favorite. Would love to meet him one day.
My buddy's friends with him, actually. He hasn't talked to him in a while, but he's friends with him.
Yeah, I've always considered him the hidden gem of Ring of Honor. But the match of the night, I don't care what anyone says. MJF versus Will Ospreay. My God, that was picture perfect. Awesome. Loved every bit of it. And I'm a big Assassin's Creed fan too. That entrance was really, really, really good. And I guarantee you that he's going to get a skin, Will Ospreay, in the game. I would love to see Will
That'd be fire.
Ospreay. I would love to see Will Ospreay in an Assassin's Creed game. If that happens, I'm buying that 1000%. Yeah,
They'd
I
have this
love.
money.
Yeah, I love what AEW did. Bernard, you saw the Will Ospreay match. What did you think of it?
To be honest with you, I haven't saw it, but I heard the dude is incredible in the ring. I mean,
He is the best wrestler on the planet, Will Ospreay. I would say Kenny Omega, but to me right now, because Kenny Omega's hurt, I have to go Will Ospreay is the best wrestler on the planet. But yeah, he's great. I'll tell you one con that happened after the show is when I don't even know who this clown reporter was, asked Mercedes Moné, like, why are you going to ask him in the middle after a great event about her divorce? Like, that's the
Idiot.
wrong time to ask about that. And it's her personal life. Like, what are you doing, dude?
Idiot. Just like, okay, so now like we're on this side of things, right? Like we're quote the media, right? Like we talk about these things. I'm relatively new in this sphere. What the hell are you thinking, dude? Like if this was like a TMZ reporter that caught her outside her house, I'd be like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. This is after the biggest wrestling show this wrestling promotion is going to put on all year, and you want to know about her divorce? Are you okay?
Yeah, are you?
No,
are
like
you,
actually, as a person, are you okay? Like what?
do you have CTE right now? Like, what are you doing?
That we witnessed the results of chronic traumatic encephalopathy happen in real time right there. That's what just happened. I wrote a paper on that in college. I know that term. I'm not just a guy who talks about wrestling. I know chronic traumatic encephalopathy when I see it, and that guy's brain was turning into cement as he spoke.
Not only was he turning into cement, but it was cracking too. The foundation wasn't great, and it was like old cement that hasn't been recycled properly. You know, it's like this. My God, what a disgrace. I hope that reporter's probably not getting fired, but I hope he's banned from every AEW press. And let's be real, majority of these press conferences, including WWE, are holding, they're mostly yes man. They're mostly people who are all yes about the product, like, oh, this is all great. This is this, da 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 da. Except for a few that are added, because you got to have Dave Meltzer there, who's like, say, Dave Meltzer's credibility has gone all of a sudden, but he's a yes man for AEW. I mean, if it wasn't for Dave Meltzer, AEW might not even be a thing. Remember, Dave Meltzer tweeted, I don't think anything could sell out. And Cody Rhodes said, well, you'll see. And that created All In. Dave Meltzer's a big reason why this happened. But point is, whoever that reporter is, I just want you to do me a favor. I want you to look in the mirror. I want you to keep replaying that question multiple times. And then what I want you to do is, every time you keep playing it and you see yourself and you see the phone or whatever the device is, you realize what the type of monster you were for asking that question. And that will make it easier for you when you lift up the nearest pen, wherever you're by a desk or you're by, your home or something like that. It'll make it easier for you to lift up that pen and sign your resignation papers, because that's what should really happen right now. Shame on you. Go ahead, Bernard.
Yeah, I see why certain wrestlers, doesn't talk about personal stuff like this, especially at press conferences, because of stuff like this. Wrestlers are very private about talk about stuff like that in the spotlight, because in the spotlight you already have heat coming at you if you're playing a certain character already, and then you add this to it, it's gonna make it much worse. I believe that also just respect people's privacy. Just respect it, man.
Look at what happened with Dax. I mean, his podcast is great. And listen, Dax, if you're listening to this right now, I love you. You're great. You and FTR are amazing. But look at what happened with Dax. He got so much heat for his podcast. And you had people like Disco Inferno. God, that's another piece of work. We'll get to him later, probably in a later episode. But Disco Inferno's out there trashing him. You got morons like going after him, and it was a bad scene. Like that's why you don't like people have toned it down with that. And yes, Dax, I hope your podcast eventually comes back up because you were great in that, and I loved your stories. But like these type of questions, like what is the need here? Like why bring it up? Like unless it's something like going on with in WWE like the Vince McMahon stuff. And again, get your divorce lawyers ready once that documentary comes out. Get it ready. But like if it's something about the company, or if it's like with Triple H or like with Tony Khan or these people like that, you could go ahead and ask those questions because they run the business, they run the company. But don't ask that to Mercedes Monet. Don't ask that to a random wrestler who runs nothing business wise and would probably have no knowledge on that or would like to share it. And I don't care if she shared it on a regular podcast. She shared it once. She was clearly emotional during it. And even asked that question, you could tell she wasn't comfortable answering it. Like, come on, dude. We got to do better than that. Like, come on.
Yeah, not great. But, I mean, there are scumbags, unfortunately, and people just ask stupid ass questions, and, there's no way around it. But now we can get into the meat of things a little bit, into the thick of it. Ladies and gentlemen, it is prediction time. And while we're going over predictions, we can kind of talk about some of the things throughout the week as well. We're going to start off with what I hope to God is not the main event, and I think it's pretty much solidified not going to be. Maybe they'll do a stupid co-main event thing. But anyway, we have the prize fighter, Kevin Owens versus Cody Rhodes for the Universal Championship. I'm going to start this one off. I don't think there's too much to say. Obviously, Cody Rhodes is going to retain the belt, but the story here is Kevin Owens. I think Kevin Owens may turn on Cody here for one reason or another. He got upset that he was in the match in the first place, and maybe he feels like Cody Rhodes maybe is pitying him, and that's going to force the turn. I don't know. We'll see what his reasoning is, but I think we're going to get a Kevin Owens heel turn, and Cody Rhodes wins the match. Maybe it's by disqualification. Maybe KO gets himself disqualified. I wouldn't hate that. I would actually probably like that a lot. Bernard, how do you feel about this one?
Yeah, I kind of like what you on this one is. I kind of feel that the heel turn of Kevin Owens is coming. Some feel that it's needed. I have Cody Rhodes retaining the title, but I think either by pinning Kevin Owens, or like you said, it could be by Kevin Owens disqualify himself by him turning on Cody, and like you said, feels petty. He feels that Cody Rhodes is pity him, and I believe that it's gonna lead to a perfect storyline, down the line in the next couple of months.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. Cody ain't dropping that title for a while. I mean, maybe the earliest I could see him dropping it is maybe the next Saudi show, but I don't know when they're going back to Saudi. I can't remember off the top.
November.
November. Thank you. That's probably
November.
the earliest, and I don't think he's dropping it then. Here's the thing with SmackDown. They have way too many faces. They need to have a new heel. Like that's one of my major problems. I love SmackDown a lot, but the big issue is there needs to be another heel, and there aren't any great ones. And you know who could play a great heel? Kevin Owens. And I think it would make sense. Although I still think the plan is going to be Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes. That has to happen. So could I see Kevin Owens not turning on him? Yes, but they got to have some heels on the show. I think Kevin Owens being a heel would be great. Kevin Owens is great as a face or a heel.
He's just great. Yeah.
Yeah, he's amazing. I think Cody's going to win.
Yeah.
No question. And if he loses, I'd be shocked. But could you see the bloodline potentially attacking Cody?
Mm-hmm.
Could you potentially see that? I mean, I'm not going to rule it out. I mean, I hope to rule it out because Solo Sikoa is terrible. I'm at that point where I'm done with Solo because he's been such a disappointment. He's not Tonga Loa terrible, but it's just frustrating with Solo. But yeah, Cody I think wins. We're either going to get a heel turn from Kevin Owens or the bloodline attacks. But I'm still going to lean Cody winning no matter what, and either option's cool with me. So
Yeah, we'll see what happens. JC wants Cody to drop the title to Randy. It would be great. Don't know if it'll happen. I think we're all fiending for that story, and that's definitely to come. Speaking of one of the pillars of WWE history, a man that when he gets his flowers, it may be. No, it won't be too late, but like it'll be after his career. Actually, he's kind of starting to get them now, and it's nice to see what I hope will be the main event of the evening for the World Heavyweight Champion, the Viper Randy Orton, versus the hometown-ish boy. He's Austrian, not German, but I guess close enough to give him the hometown advantage. The World Champion incumbent Gunther. I think this one's going to be an absolute banger. But I think Gunther's going to win quite convincingly. I think the fact that there's the shroud over the fact that he won and Randy's shoulder was clearly not on the mat, and there was an issue with that, but they had to keep rolling with it. I think that is going to be put to bed completely. Gunther's going to get a very convincing win. I think Randy's going to hit a very good timed RKO. Gunther's going to kick out and then just kind of pound Randy Orton for a couple more minutes and then put him away. I don't think it's going to be anything too crazy. It's going to be a good match. It's going to be really fun. Fans are going to be into it, but Gunther stays champion.
Yeah, I think no matter what, Gunther is going to stay champion because, let's be real, Randy Orton's a SmackDown superstar. There's no way he's going to win a Raw title, and the path is going to be Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes. So absolutely, Gunther is going to win this match. I hope Ludwig Kaiser's there. I love Ludwig Kaiser. He's like one of my favorite parts of Gunther. I mean, thank God they didn't break him away from Gunther. Thank goodness, because I mean, I love Gunther, but like Ludwig Kaiser's great, and thank God Giovanni Vinci's gone. And God, that new gimmick is awful. I hate they're going to put him in because it was terrible in NXT 2.0. Anyways, back to this match. Yeah, Gunther wins. I don't know if I'm going to say I'm super excited for it because their King of the Ring match was kind of a disappointment. Like, yeah, the ending was just, I mean, like it wasn't that great, but the match itself was very slow. Wasn't awful, but it was disappointing. But yeah, Gunther wins. I think that Randy Orton's going to hit the RKO on Ludwig, and Gunther's going to win the match no matter what. So,
yeah. Nard dog.
Yeah, I got Gunther. It's too early to take the title off him. Like I said, I think he's gonna hold the title for a long time. I think past WrestleMania, who knows? Like I said, Randy Orton's gonna hit a good out of nowhere RKO on Ludwig Kaiser. I think he's gonna hit one good one on Gunther as well, but Gunther come up the victor in this one. Still your champion.
Yep, I agree. Next match on the docket, gonna be a fun one. I think a lot of people are very excited to see where the story continues to build. We got a mixed tag match for the first time in a little while. We have the Terror Twins, Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley versus Dirty Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan. I think it's gonna be fun. I don't think you should expect a crazy 5-star match, but I think it's going to be really fun. Dom is thriving in this character as the little dirty rat heel. It's phenomenal. Damian is loving this dark side kind of babyface run. We've all loved Rhea, babyface heel. It doesn't matter. We've loved her since she came to the main roster, and it's not going to stop. I don't know. I really go back and forth on this match on who's going to win. I think I did land with the Judgment Day winning because strength in numbers right now, and I think it's going to build to – I think it could build to a War Games match because we've talked about that a little bit before. So I think it's just going to be more of that, and Rhea's just really not going to stop going after Liv. I think that the next step is it's going to be a squirrely little win, and then Rhea's going to be like, I need you one-on-one because, you know, whatever is going to happen. But I think Dom and Liv end up winning this by nefarious means, to say the least. Professor kicked the last one off. Nardog, how do you feel about this one?
So yeah, here's the I want to go for Damien Priest and Rhea Ripley, but for some reason I believe that this might end in a DQ. I think the match gonna go super well, and then that's when the rest of Judgment Day come in and they interfere in the match, and they either help Dom and Liv win, or it just end in a DQ, which um you know help their match with Finn Balor and Damian Priest be more compelling at come bad blood.
Yeah, I like that as well. It's going to be interesting to see where they go with this. Obviously, it's not ending here. This is not the payoff for this. Going a little bit off order. If anybody in chat is wondering where I'm getting this order from, I just go on WWE's website, look at the show list, and I just kind of go down the row if you ever want to follow along. I am now skipping because I just kind of want to get this one out of the way.
Wait.
Women's
I didn't
tag.
go. I didn't go yet for my pick.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
I almost skipped him, chat. My bad.
No,
Bad guy
listen.
Shake.
It's my fault, not yours. Don't worry about it. I mean, the professor makes mistakes sometimes. Wrong letter grade,
We're good.
Here's my question with this match, and I want to ask you guys: you think Rhea Ripley's gonna hit the Riptide on Dominic? Because that's gonna happen. Do
Nah.
you think it happens this match?
Listen, if it doesn't and there is a War Games, she better riptide him through a table, is all I'm saying.
I asked that question because I know it's coming. It's like Ricky Starks when he leaves AEW for WWE. It's no longer an if, but when it's happening.
Yeah.
I'm going to go agree with the DQ here. By the way, I love the way they called Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest the Terror Twins. But for those complaining that they're not technically twins because one's 10 years older, you do realize that these two were in the group faction originally with Edge, right? You do realize that. Like,
well,
so who cares if they're...
Yeah. First of all, the people that think that's stupid, that's a nickname they gave themselves back in developmental when they joined NXT together.
I was about to say that. That was the nickname they gave. So if you're complaining about it, I mean, tough. Like,
take it up with them. Go ahead.
Yeah, take it up with them. I mean, you'll get nowhere because both of them are extremely tough and real nice people, from what I've been told. But I think that if they're going to go with a win, which I don't know if they will, I'm going to lean towards the Judgment Day if it's a pinfall, but I think it's a DQ win.
Yeah. I like that. The more I think about it, the more I like it. Honestly, good call, gentlemen, on that one. JC thinks she does hit the Riptide, but ends up losing the match. That's going to be the one. Like I said, I was 50-50 on it. I really don't know who's going to win that one. And I'm 50-50 on this too. But I also am 50-50 because I haven't spent more than 30 seconds thinking about it. In all disclosure, respect to all four women, but women's tag team championship match, titles are dead. Alba Fire. Oh, they're actually calling them the Unholy Union now on the website. Good for them. Anyway, Alba Fire, Isla Dawn versus Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill for the women's tag team championship match titles. And my God, I don't care who wins. I honestly hope Bianca and Jade don't win, so they turn on each other and it can actually turn into something, because I'm over them being a tag team, and I think those two feuding would be awesome. So that's what I hope happens. I honestly hope they lose, and then for some reason these belts just go away. But that's all I got, Professor. I skipped you last time. Kick it off.
Yeah. Is there a lullaby song like we could legally play on this podcast?
We can work on it.
Maybe, because first off, these tag team titles are dead. They were dead from the beginning. I don't know why they're still a thing today. I could care less about this match. I mean, no offense to thank God they're calling them the Unholy Union, because that was a name they've called in NXT and they've ignored it. It's better than that crappy name they're giving Sonya Deville's group. I can't even.
Pure Fusion Collective.
My God.
What the hell does that even mean?
What does that mean?
They're like, we read books and know big words. Let's put them together.
It's sort of like when you combine a book club with like a pure company that's made to put you to sleep. Like those nighttime book stories.
It's just not a good
It's
name.
such a bad name. Like I mean,
And
I don't know what's bad, that or the street trash name that they were going to give to the Judgment Day. Like, I don't know what's worse.
just to let chat behind the curtain a little bit here, like we have a group chat and we like talk about some things that don't always make it on air. Like that was a couple of the things we talked about. Like, yeah, how bad some of these names are, like how bad Pure Fusion Collective is. That's a horrible name. They almost went with Street Trash. Like it's just sometimes, folks, we got to raise the bar a little bit.
Yeah. As for this match, who knows? Who cares? Who let the dogs out? Because it's random. Just like I don't care. Give the titles back to Bianca and Jade. I mean, Jade's almost been with this company for a year, and I don't want to be that type of guy, but I've been so underwhelmed with Jade Cargill.
That's
Like,
fair.
she hasn't been bad. I mean, she's gotten half the time I think was spent in the performance center, but
Yeah.
she hasn't really gotten better compared to. And no offense to Jade, she's better than I would ever be in the ring. But
Yeah.
she hasn't really improved from her AEW days, and it's just. And ever since that botch she did when I forgot what pay-per-view it was,
It
she
was in
tried to.
NXT.
Yeah. Ever since that like botch happened, where she was like jumping off the ropes and was about to do a clothesline and she slipped. Ever since that botch, it's been really downhill from there. And
I heard that was also unfair though.
it was unfair because people
The
forget like they
ropes
did
were
not
wet
assemble.
also.
Yeah, they did not assemble the ropes properly. But ever since
Yeah.
that moment, it's just been, it hasn't really been great with Jade Cargill. And
I agree
the
though. Yeah.
breakup needs to happen now because I'm getting bored and sleepy. And I'm already sleepy and bored from talking about women's tag titles. And I can already see instead of a W or an L, I think I'm going to label this one as a Z and move on to you. Go ahead, Bernard.
Sure.
All right. So let me before I go on, Nicholas, I want to ask you something. You
Yeah.
said she's bad. So who's worse, Jay
I didn't say she was.
Cargill or
I didn't
Nia
say she was bad.
Jax?
I didn't say she was bad. I said she was disappointing.
Right.
Who's worse? Nia Jax. 1000% Nia Jax. She doesn't injure people. I can say that.
True.
But yeah,
Hey, she got.
I think she's more disappointing than bad. Like I said, she's great in the ring. It's just ever since the transition from AEW to WWE, it's just been disappointing. And
Yeah.
Right.
like
You're
something's
right.
got to happen. Like I'm like something's got to happen. But if they continue with this and they put these women tag titles on the pay-per-view, that's just going to be my bathroom break. Obviously
Yeah.
not my bathroom break because I think we're going to be going live and reacting to the pay-per-view if I remember correctly. But
We will be.
yes. But yeah, as for this match, who knows? Who cares? Who let the dogs out? Just pick Bianca and Jade to be the new tag titles and let's move on.
Listen,
Well,
by the
go
way,
ahead, Jake.
shameless plug. He mentioned it. This Saturday, 1 p.m., the Ringside Boys will be reacting live to Bash in Berlin. Come hang out with us, chat it up with us, go to the bathroom when the women's tag match is on. Do whatever you got to do. And now, back to the Nardo.
Yeah, so this match, believe it or not, I have a heel turning in this match. Shake Bake and Nicholas, y'all kind of took it out my mouth and all. I'm going with more of a maybe Bianca Belair heel turn in this match, and the Unholy Union retain the titles.
Yes.
It's like I agree with everybody saying about the women's tag team division. It's like they just don't have no freaking tag team. I mean, you got the fusion, whatever that name. You got Sonya Deville, Shayna, and Stark. You have two. You got 2/4 of Damage Control and Io Sky and carries in the Sky Pirates. You have Bianca Belair and Jade, and I don't know where Katana Chance and what Caden Carter is that?
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
where they're at.
They're in the middle of that garbage, pure
Fusion
Scooby Doo,
Collective.
Yabba Dabba Doo faction. I'm not calling that by their freaking name. That name is terrible.
PFC.
Yeah, it's like I read this. I read this online. Well, I read an article about from WWE about the tag team division from the male perspective, and it's like the reason why the tag team. I said both tag team divisions are shit, the women's and men's, because they're
True.
not they're not doing it the right way. They're not, they're not actually putting a proper storyline behind the tag team titles. And
Hmm.
all. I say the best way they booked them tag team championships that I ever saw that was booked was when the Usos had it against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
They've been
That was
dead
about
since
a
then.
they've been dead since then. Um, I believe Triple H, either two things must happen. If they're going to bring in mid card championships, they need to go ahead and do away with the women's tag team championships. Um, but in this match, I have Unholy Union retaining due to a Bianca Belair heel turn. That's my take.
I love that.
Dude,
I
that's
love that.
brilliant. I didn't think of that. And if
Yeah,
Bianca does turn heel, can we please get her back with the Street Profits? By the way, where the hell are the Street Profits? I can't remember the last time they were on television.
They're mulling around,
Like
doing nothing.
they're not milk carton level. By the way, speaking of milk carton, we finally saw Dragon Lee on Monday Night Raw, ladies and
Hey, we
gentlemen.
found him,
The
chat.
bounty
Dragon
has
Lee's
been
back.
collected. Now we need a new.
Yay!
Now we need a new milk carton for Shinsuke Nakamura. Whatever happened to him?
Yeah, listen, we'll get what if he's not back in the next couple weeks, he will be featured on the missing persons report, and I'm gonna get working on behind the scenes with some sirens, and we're gonna get something funny going for when people go missing. Because listen, we're not making fun of people, chat. We're genuinely concerned about these individuals.
I was concerned, dude. I mean, we had to put the word out of where these guys were. I mean, look what happened to Neville all those years ago. People were months too late wondering where that guy was before they put him in the cruiserweight division. We worry about these people. We want to see them. They're talented. I don't want them to get wasted. Like, we're trying to care for people here, you know? We really do. Unless you're that idiotic reporter from AEW, we don't care about you anymore. But we care about people here.
Little bit of bad blood there, but that's okay.
That's the next
bad
pay-per-view.
blood. Yeah, that's on docket next month. But there's some kind of spilling over still here that's gonna get sorted out in a couple of days. This Saturday, we'll be reacting live. By the way, same place you're watching us right now, 1 p.m. Eastern. If you want to hang out, whatever. Bash of Berlin. There's going to be a strap match with the stupid rules we hate between Drew McIntyre and CM Punk. This is going to be a hell of a brawl. And I thought maybe it would end in Hell in a Cell, but with how long this has gone, respectfully, this should be a nice bow on this rivalry. These two have been cooking each other on the mic for months. They didn't get the resolution they wanted at the last pay-per-view. Seth Rollins had a little bit to do with that because CM Punk couldn't keep his head on straight. But strap match, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre. I have absolutely no idea who's going to win this match. I cannot decide.
It's obvious Punk's winning, dude. What are you talking about? I'm sorry. Like, they're going to have a third match, dude, and it's going to be one-on-one. Like, come on. Punk's winning.
I mean, you say that. Cody Rhodes beat Seth Rollins 3 times in a row in their trilogy, but I don't necessarily disagree with you. I could see Punk winning, but Drew McIntyre has not gotten over on Punk a single time since the pay-per-view, and that kind of makes me feel like at the pay-per-view he's gonna kind of have his to do. But that's how I feel. Gentlemen, your turn.
I got CM Punk winning. Like I said, I do not like that stupid ass rule where you got to touch 4 corners, I believe, in the strap match.
So
Yeah.
I like, oh my god, and not only that, it's like I'm ready for this feud to be over because it seems like like the more they keep going on and on about it, it's like the more boring it still is going to become. So I got CM Punk winning the strap match, and then if they are doing a Hell in a Cell match at Bad Blood, which I think they're going to do, I think Drew McIntyre is going to go ahead and put the bull in this rivalry, end it, go on to the next thing because I'm tired of it. So that's why I have CM Punk winning this strap match.
You want to know what I'm tired of? I'm sick and tired of this bracelet nonsense. I really am. Like, You didn't need to input a bracelet in this entire feud. Like, I get why they did it like one time, great, and during the pay-per-view it was annoying a little, especially with what they did with Seth Rollins. Like, come on, dude, like we don't need to see this bracelet. And one other thing too, Punk, you're not the Taylor Swift of men. You ruined your reputation in AEW. You're no longer the Taylor Swift of men. I'm sorry, but yeah, I'm about at ends meet with this feud. They got to stop with this bracelet nonsense. I hope Punk gets that bracelet after he wins this match, and they stop it, because I do not want to hear about this bracelet anymore. I'm at that point like I was when Dominic was getting harassed by Liv Morgan. I was at that point. Now it's the bracelet where I've had it, but you know.
I think Dom was liking that. I don't think he got harassed. He was liking that.
Now
He was
I'm
just
liking the
playing.
story. Now I'm liking the story. Now that it's making sense. Okay, let's get that out of the way. I hated it to begin with because of the direction it was going, and because of that lawsuit. Sorry,
you're gonna get JC all fired up here again. He's talking about necklaces and bracelets and,
and the Nation of Domination. Like this man needs to.
The wheels have yet again completely fallen off.
And there it is.
Here we go, Chad. Right on time. JC hits him with the harassment.
We love you, JC. We love you, JC.
Oh, no.
Listen, and so we got a little bit of extra time. We could talk about this. Jacob Fatu isn't a tag champion anymore. He was stripped of his half of the tag team champions for Tongaloa, and I just don't know why. I don't know why. Even if you want to have him go and do like this face off with Roman and then this thing with Solo, why can't he also be tag champ? It's not like you're doing anything with the belts. Bernard mentioned how shit the division is. It's not like there's a premium of like, oh, we got to do this now. So Fatu can't have the belts because we got to have him here. Put him in both spots. No one's going to get freaking sick of him. And it's not like there's a premium. No one's banging down the door asking for tag team championship matches because you've had time to try to do it. And honestly, let's be honest, on SmackDown, they really have tried. They've tried to do the A-Town Down Under. Didn't really work. They tried to do Pretty Deadly. Didn't really work. Again, I think I agree with the investment in time may not have really been there. Give the belts to the Street Profits, instant credibility again. And then whoever beats them would gain credibility. But no, they want to keep the belts off of the Profits for some fucking reason. And you can't explain to me why.
Where have they been? Like,
right. It's just, it doesn't make any sense.
Whatever happened to Montez Ford getting a singles push? Because that was rumored. Whatever happened to that? Like, did they give up on that the moment Bobby Lashley? I think, did they give up on that the moment Bobby Lashley left the company? Like, whatever happened to that? It
seems like before that they gave up on it.
Well, probably. Which I think is great because I love Angelo Dawkins, and if Montez Ford's broken up with him, he'll be like Tucker, released, like when Tucker split from Otis.
Well, see, the way I kind of put it was like, this is before the Profits took an absolute nosedive. I said out of this, he was going to come out like Matt Hardy. Like, he'd get a singles run and win mid-card titles, but like majority obscurity, and Montez was going to go on to win a couple world titles and like be a legitimate superstar, but none of that has happened.
Oh, guys, we got some news here. Nikki Cross has signed a new contract with WWE.
I saw that. Congratulations to Nikki Cross.
Wow. Congratulations to Mrs. Cross.
Yeah, great for her. Nicola Glenn Cross signed a new contract with WWE. Listen, let's roll right into that because this is something on my own channel. I do Shake's Take, and those will be featured on Stadium Rant from time to time. It's something we're going to start working on here. These fine gentlemen will be featured as well. You've heard the story time by the Professor live on the podcast. Every once in a while, we're going to throw that in there as well. Get that on the YouTube channel. And then we're going to have a little segment called The Green Room where the Nard Dog's going to be digging into some juicy backstage topics, what he thinks going on behind the scenes. He's going to get into that. It's going to be a lot of fun. But my Shake Take is going to be about Uncle Howdy and how I'm not hitting the panic button, but I'm starting to sit up in my chair and get a little concerned because I'm starting to notice some things I don't necessarily like. While I agree this Chad Gable thing did need to end,
He's dead. He's done. Chad's done.
I agree, but I thought this was going to end in a weird way on Raw, and then the payoff would be at a pay-per-view, like a mid-card match there, where that's the first time where we see Howdy get a real victory. I thought this was going to be a DQ, like the Creed brothers or the Six were going to get involved. But it was a straight, they both did, but it was a technical, clean victory for Uncle Howdy, and it just seems very, very underwhelming. Bo Dallas didn't look bad in the ring. I thought he looked pretty good for not like being on TV in a ring in a long time. I don't like what they did with the mask. It looks like a child's mask now. He used to have like dreads. Yeah, it used to be like dreads, and now it looks like a $10 like Walmart quality hair. And like my buddy, the Matt Man, was talking to me about it. He goes, I just watched a 12-minute match, and I swear to God, 6 minutes was Howdy pushing hair out of his face. And that's a thing they can fix, but like that's really bad. And I'm not getting to the point, like I said, where I'm like, oh no, they fucked it. They don't know what they're doing. This is so bad. But like I'm starting to think maybe they don't know what they're doing with this.
No, that thinking can be done with Chad Gable and the Creed brothers. Like they are
fair
done.
enough.
Can I just say one thing as well, too? Why wasn't this match on pay-per-view?
That's what I'm saying.
Why is this match not on pay-per-view? I don't understand what you're doing with this. And like I said, like where does Gable go from here? Because you can't have them have another match together. And this American Made, which is the most bland name ever for a tag team. I love the Creed brothers, but like I don't know where they go from here. And I'm glad Ivy Nile joined the group a little too late. Like what are you going to have them do? Feud against the Alpha Academy, which again, why are they called the Alpha Academy still? Why are they still called the Alpha Academy?
Yeah.
Wouldn't they get like a rebranding or something? And here's another problem with the Alpha Academy. The only person in that faction that I care about is Otis. I mean, I don't hate Akira Tozawa, but like I'm still surprised he still has a job with this company after the cuts that happened. And that's not on Tozawa. He's great, but I can't with the comedy stuff with him. And Maxine Dupree, who's terrible, she stinks too. I mean, my God, is she bad? She can't wrestle. She's awful on the mic. No offense to her, because she seems like a nice person, but I don't know what they see in her. Like, and before they had the singles match too, you know WWE doesn't trust her because in the middle of Ivy Nile, who is supposed her best friend that betrays her, they can't even finish the match.
They're like, no, we're done. Nikki, get your ass in there. Save this thing. Nikki, get your ass in there.
That's how they know. Like, and that's how they know Maxine Dupree is still green in the ring. She is not good. And I don't know what they're doing with Alpha Academy, and I do not want to see Gable, the Creed brothers, and Ivy Nile versus them. I don't want to see it. So I don't know where they go from there. And again, Chad, enjoy that new contract you got where you're probably going to be doing nothing the next few years. Enjoy.
He's going to be laughing like Ted DiBiase, dude. He got paid. He don't give a damn.
Everybody's got a price for the $1 million man, you know?
You know what I'm saying? Nardog, how do you feel about this whole Uncle Howdy thing?
Well, I think it's amazing. I think this is a good direction. Well, I say it's amazing that he debuted in the ring. I'm happy that they, finally doing something with him. Like I said, I guess I want to see more. I want to see where does this go to, and I want to see where does this Y6 go to. Like after that, I'm finished with the Creed brothers and Chad. Are they going to go against the Judgment Day or somebody else? Like things like that. I guess I just want to see more of it. Like I said, I'm happy with what I'm seeing right now out of Uncle Howdy, but after they finish with Chad, I want to see where else WWE could take them.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Listen, gentlemen, we're running up against it a little bit on time. Chat, thanks for hanging out. JC, absolute legend in the scene. Everybody that's just hanging out watching, you're absolute legends too. We appreciate you hanging out. And if you want to hang out more, get more content from us, okay? Like I said, probably twice now. If you didn't see it, you'll hear it again. This Saturday, live at 1 p.m. Eastern, we will be hosting a watch party reacting to Bash in Berlin as it's happening. We may sprinkle in a couple of guests to hang out with us for a match here or there. More coming on that soon. We may be able to roll that out through the weekend as we get kind of confirmations on who's going to be there, what's going on. But, you know, like we always say, go follow Stadium Rant on all social medias, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all that good stuff. And for more articles from your favorite writers, all three of us do dope stuff on there. Favorite teams, players, leagues, whatever you want over on stadiumrant.com. And if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you. Acknowledge us.